Hey there everybody, Gideon's Tactical. Here's another knife for you to check out. This is the Tops Knives Cheetah. And I'm really excited for this review because this is the very first Tops knives that I've taken a look at. So to give you just a little bit about Tops, they are a knife company that make all their knives, they quote unquote handcrafted. I mean, they're mass produced, but they're, handcrafted by a lot of different well-known knife designers. All made in the U.S. All their knives are made in the USA, and they specialize in their kind of their target audience is like for the special forces community. They're designed for like law enforcement and like heavy duty military use is what their website says that all their knives are designed for. So kind of like the special ops type of stuff. So that what we're looking at here today, and that's kind of the persona of their knives and stuff. What we're looking at here is again, like I said, the Tops Knives Cheetah. So I'll give you a couple quick specs for you, and then we'll kind of talk about it here a little bit. It is made out of 1095 high carbon steel, full tang. Very nice, like that a lot. It has a blade length of 3.14 inches. Has an overall length, as you can see right there, of 6 3/8 inches. The cutting edge itself, that actual blade, is 2 3/4 inches. So they're measuring actually from the handle is the 3 3/4. The actual cutting edge is 2 3/4 inches. A thickness of 1/8 of an inch. And then it's got micarta scales, Krydex sheath, and the weight is 3.3 ounces, and the total weight with the sheath is 5.4 ounces. So those are just kind of the specs there for you. Let's talk about it here a little bit. 1095 high carbon for such a little knife, and this is a very small knife. It's even smaller than I was suspecting, and I would almost put this in like a neck knife category. And they're selling this kind of as either like a small self-defense tool or like a hunting knife, and I think it would do well for either of those. So the POU would definitely, I would say, either small tactical use or for hunting is what I would say. You really aren't going to probably want to take this necessarily into the bush, and do a bunch of carving and fire starting and all that type of stuff. Just the angle of the blade, it kind of is a little bit like a boomerang. Just really isn't designed very well for that. I mean, it can do it. It's just not going to maybe be the most comfortable for that particular design. But the full tang is great. The blade itself has this like gray powder coating. I like that, because almost all of their knives, if this 1095, they do like a black powder coating. So it's cool that they do just gray, so it's just different. But same kind of, a little bit of texturing. Then you got the cheetah words and the little cheetah running on there. And those are actually not like just drawn on. That's imprinted. The word cheetah is etched in. And then that cheetah is actually an imprint. So, I mean, that's pretty nice and high quality right there. The edge itself is full flat grind, so that's very nice. I like that a lot. Got a really nice sweep, nice belly. So you can definitely do some slicing, and it would definitely do well as a very small skinner. Again, it's just under 3 inches of the actual cutting blade. For a small skinner, it would do great with that, sharp right out of the box, and a good piercer too. So if you are holding it, and you're doing a stab if you had to for tactical use, or you're holding it in a tactical format, I mean, the knife blade is going to be able to penetrate well for that. So the blade itself in its design and pretty good thickness there, and the tip is nice and strong. No complaints with that. So the overall from like here forward, from my thumb forward, there's nothing to complain about. Great little knife on that side. Now the rest of it, again, I'm still trying to get used to just kind of the weird boomerang type of shape a little bit of the knife. It got amazing jimping here, though. I mean, that digs in really well. And when you're holding it, I mean, you got it locked in there like that. And that jimping is great. Lots and lots of jimping. Love it. Love it. And when you're holding it, you're locked in like that. You got to be a little careful. My finger, I wear large size gloves. My finger kind of almost wants to go over this little guard right here that's supposed to keep my finger there. It almost kind of wants to go over. So if you have large size gloves, you kind of have to be conscientious of this particular knife. So you just got to kind of be careful there. My finger once or twice has kind of wanted to go up onto the edge. And I mean, and the edge starts right there. I mean, it's sharp right there at the end of the edge right there. So just kind of be careful and conscientious of that. But you got some little jimping down here as well. Does a little bit, not a lot. The upper definitely. So that's nice and thick, nice and good. And I mean, you're going to definitely, if you are cutting open an animal, you know, you're holding it like this and you're stabbing or doing whatever, I mean, it's definitely going to be able to do that. And I guess you could do some bush use, but for under 3 inches, there's not a lot you can do. It reminds me a lot of like the SE Azula, the original Azula. I think it's the same blade length as that. You know, it's just small for most wood tasks. On now to the handle itself, you got the, you know, it's got tops carved into that micarta, and that micarta is really nice. Got some good texturing there, and the handle itself, you know, is carved really well, and actually fits and fills my hand pretty well for such a small little knife. I mean, like under 6.5 inches total. And I wear, again, large size gloves, but my pinky isn't one to come off or fall off or anything like that, and it actually holds it very well in place, and I'm very surprised that it does that well. And even if I'm holding it in reverse grip, I mean, my hand, if I'm holding it right there, my hand's got it, no problem. So the handle itself isn't too bad. It is, the micarta is short, as you can see right there. I mean, in my palm of my hand, the micarta barely fills it up. But it is nice and thick. It's got those really cool white little spacers in there. So I mean, it's just very aesthetically pleasing, very nice to look at. It's got these brass rivets, and you can kind of see through them. Hopefully, you can see that. And so there's not any screws, so you can't take this off. So if you were to drop it in salt water, you couldn't take the scales off. So that's maybe like a little bit of a downside, but not too much because you're not going to be making this into a spear or anything like that. So, but you can run some little small paracord through there if you wanted to. And they do have this lanyard hole back here, and that's nice because I'm going to throw a lanyard on it just like most of my other small knives like this so that I can even grab this even a little bit better when I have it in my hand. So that's the knife itself. Overall impressions, it's just unique. It's different and unique, and definitely, in my opinion, I mean, it's light, again, like 3.3 ounces, which is great. Light little knife right there. I'm going to say that this is either like an EDC fixed blade, you know, you just carry it on your person all the time because it is slim and small. You could totally carry this on your person, no problem. Or a neck knife, or a small like Skinner knife, hunting knife. That's kind of how I'm feeling, and I don't really have any complaints. It's just unique, and I mean, don't be fooled. It is a small knife, so I just got to kind of reiterate that because it's just smaller than even I thought it would be, even seeing the specs online. So that's the knife. The sheath, like it said, Kydex, nice and strong there. No dedicated drain hole, but you can see through there, so the water will drain right out, and you're not going to necessarily rust out your 1095. Comes with a little Tops whistle. You know, it says Tops Knives, Special Ops, Trusted Tops, Special Ops, Trust Tops. TopsKnives.com, and then their phone number. But this whistle is a great little, you know, just emergency whistle. Nothing wrong with that. And got a little keychain on there so you can take it off if you don't want it hanging on the end. Sorry, still dealing with a little bit of runny nose here. But the Kydex is nice and strong. You got this really, I don't usually prefer pocket clips. I like blade lock, tech locks better. But this is a very good pocket clip. I'm very impressed. Very strong steel. You're able to get a pretty thick belt in there. Probably not a tactical belt, but a pretty thick belt. Looks like it's narrow enough that it can probably slip onto Molly if you want it to. And you can switch this to be either carrying it, you know, like this if the knife is in there. Let me put it in. If the knife is in there, you know, you can either carry it like this, or you can change the clip and you can carry it like along your belt and small your back like that, and then just pull it straight out. So this is how it rides. You know, it doesn't ride as well as I would like. It's pretty low in there, and there's not a lot of of the knife itself to grab. I almost wish that the sheath itself was just shorter and maybe came down to like here, so I could just grab more of the knife. Now, I mean, it does give you this kind of like loop for thumb ramps so that you can grab it, but basically when you pull it out, you have to readjust your hand like that. So for like self-defense tactical use, that's the only downside is the sheath carry, because you have to either like pull it out some weird way with like your pinky or something and then move your hands down. Otherwise, when you pull it out, you're going to have to readjust your hand grip in order to stab someone or slice or whatever you need to do if you're in a tactical like life and death situation. That I don't really like about it. I wish that they had cut this down further so you can just grab the whole handle, pull it right out, and you're good to go. But aside from that, very basic, very slim profile. I like that. Again, you could definitely carry this like as a neck knife, and the retention's great. You know, not going to fall out, no rattle. That's just the key ring here, but no rattle whatsoever. Very well-designed sheath and well-designed pocket clip. I mean, if you catch this on something and bend really hard, or jump off of something, this would definitely bend. So you just gotta kind of be conscientious of that. But it is slim. You could definitely carry it, in the small of your back or something like that, and no one would know. Again, just when you pull it out, you're gonna have to choke up a little bit. So to give you guys just a couple comparisons and price and all that other stuff. So there's the Cheetah. Here's a BK14 with handle scales. And the BK14 is a little bit larger, not by much, but it is a little bit larger. And then you got a Rat 3, which is definitely the big daddy of the set. So those are just three small, on the small size fixed blades with full flat grinds that just kind of give you some perspective. You know, this has micarta, this has micarta. So price point out of all three of these, and for this Cheetah, you know, price point for this Cheetah, you're looking at right around probably the $60, $65 mark for that Cheetah is about the cheapest I've been able to find it. And that's going to be about, in comparison, you know, this Rat runs about $80. And then this BK14 with the handle scales that you have to order extra. They don't come with handle scales, see. You can get a set of handle scales extra, runs about $50. So you're right about in the same price point for either the BK14 or the Cheetah, and then you can, you know, mark up about another $20, $30 and get the Rat. So those are definitely like same price point. And it's tough. The Cheetah's just different and unique, and the handles do feel really good. So you know, just a unique little knife. I've heard some people asking, you know, what's the difference between the Cheetah and the Cheetah XL? The Cheetah XL is larger. It's about, I think, like a half to 3/4 of an inch larger overall. Exact same design, nothing different, except it's just an overall larger knife. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I know that went a little long, but that's our intro into Tops Knives. It definitely won't be my last Tops Knives I purchase, and just a very interesting little self-defense or fixed blade tool for those of you out there. So hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.